the tenderizer. Literally a short amount of time after I just beat one of the most excruciating events I will probably ever do in this game, and yet I literally have to go back to it. Son of a bitch. Well, at least we can use an ATV, which, by the way, I have recently found out by doing research is short for all-terrain vehicle. Although to anyone who prefers simplicity, I just call it a quad bike. Aztec Sabertooth. Ooh. This thing actually doesn't look too bad. I could probably use this thing if I really wanted to. What was that first one I had? Oh, here it is. Yeah, sure, why not? I mean, I've already used the Mirage Caliano. I used that for a race at the Grizzly. So yeah, let's use the Aztec Sabertooth for the next event. First tenderizer on an ATV. Lucky you. Embrace the dirt, bully the bikes. Have a ball. I can assure you I will probably not have a ball unless we do not have to compete against any big rigs or mud pluggers, because I'm very much apprehensive in saying that's what my bad prediction is. I'm pretty sure there will be at least one big rig or basically a bunch of mud pluggers who could very well damage this race, and my prediction was correct. We do have some bigger vehicles here, but apparently it's only the racing trucks, so maybe if it's possible this won't be too damaging. At least not as damaging as the race was that I did with the buggies, because that one really sent me off the rails. Anyways, did I mention to you that I hate the tenderizer? As in, like, I really do genuinely, absolutely 100% despise the fugitive experience of, the fugitive-like existence of this course. At least I think this course is a fugitive. At least, judging by the way the surface works, it should be a felony. Because first of all, these AI do not know how to drive this circuit, and second of all, I can barely get around this circuit without this AI just completely attempting to obliterate my race entirely, whilst also obliterating themselves. And if anyone was ever going to ask me if I would consider this to be worse than the chaos and destruction that we usually get at Daytona, I would say it's easily worse than that. It's probably even worse than the chaos and destruction we get at the Talladega Superspeedway as well. But yeah, it's definitely on the levels of Daytona and Talladega in terms of total chaos and destruction, because literally no one knows how to fucking drive these circuits. And apparently I have noticed button to use my motions. Well, at least it proves I now know how to fight my way through the field. And also to, you know, share my displeasure from time to time. Okay, I'm just honking my horn. I guess you could say my moods at the moment are, how you would say, honky. At the moment. I think I can use that term. Anyways. But yeah. The honkiness continues. Because these AI just do not know how to properly fucking drive these courses. And even though I am running up front, for one reason or another, I always just have to get fucking pummeled by the trucks. Which I think is ultimately what my main weakness is. And there are many other reasons on why I hate this course. As well as the track surface. It's also because of the racing, because, well, that is, you know, just genuinely abysmal. Judging by the way these AI just literally cannot properly drive this circuit without wrecking themselves or just wrecking me. Well, more towards the point of it being themselves, but... Okay, correction. They're wrecking me just about as much as they're wrecking themselves. Which is why I hate this course. I mean, this track surface is just mercilessly unforgiving. Once you go even one slide off key, you're pretty much wrecked and destroyed. For basically the rest of the lap. It also doesn't help in how I'm crashing a lot, which is something I should try and limit. Go fuck yourself. Whoever that was who shook their fist at me. You can go fuck yourself. And there goes one of the bikes. He's just gone straight into the rock. Yep, okay. What the fuck just happened? Did someone literally attempt to make us four abreast? What the fuck was that all about? Okay, I don't think I'm gonna win this somehow. I keep getting wrecked for one reason or another. Either that or I just cannot avoid the calamities. Which are just happening all around me at the moment. So this thing is able to ultimately knock off the bikes, but yet not able to knock off the racing trucks. Not quite as bad as having the mud pluggers or the big rigs, but it's definitely not far off in terms of those, you know, ulterior levels of badness. Definitely comes close to that. Okay. Come on. I win the race right before I explode. These finishes are just literally getting crazier and crazier. Oh, guess that's more or less what we come to expect from level 4. Although somehow, in spite of all the carnage, in the end of that I still end up coming out on top for one reason or another. But there we go, the Wasabi Wildcat wins at the tenderizer. And I think it's probably after this ticket when we start noticing some shortness in the event. At least on the tickets, I can say that. Okay, let's see. Are there any other shots I can get from here? Yeah, that's not a bad shot. I probably would deem that shot as being acceptable. Okay, I think that should do it. So, in the end of that, I win by, again, 0.13 of a second over McCloskey, and Marsden completes the podium. Then, in fourth we had Diamond ahead of Roszczynski, and then we had Laudii, or Laudii I should say, in sixth ahead of Zaworski. Lips was eighth ahead of Svetlana, and G completes the top 10. Then from 11th to 14th we had Angel Pie, Mick Hocking, The Beast, and once again Hannibal Figini finishes last. He's probably the one character in this game who has probably finished last more times than any other character. At least I think that's what it is. Alright, so ideologically the crashing still continues to occur, and needlessly in my opinion, but we have beaten the tenderizer once again, and it was another insane finish as you just saw. Of course I had to reset the system once again because, well, apparently the game crashing is one feature that I think is more or less unique, but anyways. Massive damage is done, and the next event we are doing is called Trail Trial. Up next. Yeah, Trail Trial coming up next.